So I've had this desk set up for a few years now, and in those years I've made a ton of changes and refined it to what I think is the best desk setup that I've made so far. This will actually be the last video I do on this setup, as many of you will know that I'm actually moving to Dubai. So when I move to Dubai, I will need an all new setup. Also, huge thanks to Nomad for being a channel sponsor. So the desk I have here is pretty big. It's bigger than average. It's 180 centimeters wide and 80 centimeters deep. I wanted to get as large of a desk I possibly could so that I can have room for everything, as well as rest my arms on it when I'm working. It's not exactly the highest quality desk, but it's pretty clean and it's great for the space I have here. I have the desktop screwed into a standing desk frame from FlexiSpot. It's fairly simple, no frills. What I like about this frame is that it's very quiet when moving up and down. It has no trouble holding up everything I have on the desk, especially the monitor I have, which is quite heavy. When at standing level, I am super impressed by how sturdy it is. When I'm typing, I have no issue with excessive wobble. Of course, every standing desk has some wobble, but on this, it's very minimal. My main monitor is the Apple Pro Display XDR, which I've had for nearly 3 years now. By the way, for anyone interested in this wallpaper, it's part of the new Color Layers pack, which I've just released. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. No monitor has even come close to this, which I'm quite surprised at because there's pretty much no competitor. It's 32 inches in size, but the most important feature is that 6K resolution. That 6K resolution gives me a ton of workspace to play with whilst keeping everything super sharp. It's fantastic for any workflow that requires a ton of screen estate, but also requires elements to look sharp on the screen. I use mine for design work, designing in Figma and any other sort of similar apps. I'm working on all sorts of design work on a regular basis, all the way from UI design to branding. I use it for photo editing. I'm heavy into photography, so I'm in Lightroom a lot. Having so much screen estate makes viewing and editing pictures an absolute delight. And of course, video editing. I still edit most of the videos you see on my channels. I can fit a whole 4K video on screen at 100% and still have room to see my clips and the timeline. It's incredible. Now, am I recommending that you go out and buy a Pro Display XDR? No, not at all, because for the price that it goes for, it is very, very expensive. However, if you are any sort of working professional, someone who's working in a creative field in any way whatsoever, and you're sort of high end in that field, I do think something like this actually makes a lot of sense. Like, I do think if you have the budget, if you have the money and you can make an investment, because I think that's the way you've got to see it. You've got to see a monitor like this as an investment. It's not just something that you buy because it's fun. Not at all. This is a tool. This is a tool that's designed to help you do your job better. So if you're someone who thinks can benefit from 6K resolution, 32 inches in size, needs that screen estate, I would recommend it for those sorts of scenarios. My monitor is connected to my 14-inch MacBook Pro. This is the same MacBook Pro that I bought back in 2021. It has the M1 Max chip, 32 gigabytes of unified memory and a 2 terabyte SSD. I am still considering upgrading my MacBook to the new M3 Max version, especially because it has a new space black color. I want more unified memory and I want more storage, because I found that I have 2 terabytes of storage on this. I found that I'm actually filling it up quite regularly, mainly because obviously I'm working on big files, especially video projects. So having that extra 2 terabytes of storage, upgrading my storage to maybe 4 terabytes or even 8 terabytes could actually make my life a bit easier, because then I don't have to keep using external SSDs. But I'm in no rush because this machine pretty much handles everything that I throw at it right now. It might be something I upgrade later on this year or next year. The main reason I chose the 14-inch model over the 16-inch model is of course due to the size. I rarely actually use it in laptop form. 95% of the time I have it connected up to an external display, whether that's my Pro Display XDR here at the office or my studio display at home. It blows my mind how much power there is in such a compact package. It's an absolute workhorse and helps me do my job every day without any hiccups. I think when it comes to sort of investment to return ratio, it's so worth it for me. I found for my use case in particular, this setup with one large monitor and then using my laptop as a secondary small monitor really works fantastically well. I've had multi-monitor setups in the past where I've had like 2 or 3 displays, but I've just found them a bit distracting for my current workflow. However, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with multi-monitor setups. I know for different scenarios, different workspaces, different types of work that you're doing, multi-monitor setups make a lot of sense. So right now, this 2 monitor setup works for me. The sort of main big monitor monitor and the smaller monitor, but in the future that might change. My MacBook is sitting on a laptop stand from the Gather collection by Ugmonk, a very premium laptop stand that's made from steel and walnut, and I think it looks incredible and does a good job of raising my laptop to more sort of eye level. Underneath my monitor, I have the Oakywood monitor shelf, which is in walnut and black steel. Most people would use something like this as a way to prop up their monitor, but I actually use it to add another layer to my desk. It's not as minimal or as clean, but I found it's great for organization. It gives me more room to put stuff within reach and within sight. It adds another layer of desk space to my desk, so I can put things underneath it and on top of it. I love it. The walnut finish on it is incredible. It looks and feels very premium. I have two different Nomad chargers on my desk. The first one is the Stand 1. It's an ultra premium MagSafe charger that is MFI certified, so it can charge my iPhone at the full 15 watts. Long-time subscribers will know that I care a lot about the design and the materials of a product, and I love seeing effort and care being put into everyday products. Nomad are one of the best companies at this. The Stand 1 is incredibly well built, made from metal and glass. It's super heavyweight, which is ideal because of course you don't want it to move around when attaching or detaching your phone. I like using this charger specifically because my phone is then always in sight, and I can also take advantage of standby mode. It's just a very classy looking charger. I also have the Base One Max, which sits underneath the desk shelf. This is more of a sort of secondary charger to charge another phone if I'm testing one, an Apple Watch and my AirPods. Again, feels incredible and looks very sharp. This one is in the lighter colorway so that it matches the monitor stand. If you are looking for premium, very well designed chargers, I would definitely recommend. Also, because I've had many questions about it, I'm using the Nomad titanium band on my Apple Watch Ultra, and it's freaking sick. Like, it matches the Ultra really well due to it being made from titanium. It's of course also available for other watches too, not just the Ultra. The clasp is very clever. It's a magnet which makes it easy to latch on, and at the same time it doesn't come apart until you push the clasp on both sides. It's very smart and very clean. I also have this classic old style toolbox. It acts as a place for me to hide small things I don't want in sight but need regular access to. So I have things like my Swiss Army knife and my Aesop hand balm, which is sublime by the way. It smells so good. On top of my monitor shelf, I have the 12 South Stego USB-C hub, which is actually plugged into the back of the Pro Display XDR. I have this here to give me quick access to more ports when I need them, especially USB-A ports, as well as an additional SD card slot, as sometimes I'm uploading footage from multiple cards at once. The speakers I'm using in this setup are the Bose Companion 50s. These speakers are so old now, I've had them for nearly 10 years, but they still work and they sound incredible, so I've been in no rush to replace them. Even the styling is quite classic, which I like. For my desk light, I'm using the Logi Litra Beam. I've had this since release, and it's actually supposed to be a key light for streaming, but I found that it doubles up pretty well as a desk lamp. It has brightness adjustments and color temperature adjustments, so I can use it to take photos and shoot stuff at my desk without having to set up some sort of crazy lighting. I have a full grain ULX leather desk mat on the desk, an ideal way to add some layering and texture to a cold desk. I'm still rocking the Magic Keyboard and Magic Mouse as my main setup. I do regularly try out other keyboards and mice, but I always go back to these as my workhorses. People think I'm absolutely crazy for using the Magic Mouse, but when you're using it with macOS, it's an absolute productivity beast. I've been using the Magic Mouse for over 10 years now and have had no issues with my hands, no issues with sort of using it whatsoever. I think the people who do have issues, maybe you just haven't evolved. My current main office chair is the Herman Miller Aeron. This one is the updated model in the all black colorway. It's incredible, but it is not cheap. However, I see it as another investment like my laptop and my monitor. I'm sitting at my desk for hours on end. I need an office chair that is ergonomic and will protect my back later in life. I would highly recommend getting a high quality office chair. It doesn't have to be this one specifically, just anything that will help you sit properly so that you don't have back issues later in life. So just to give you an idea of the space that I have here, this side of the room that you see here is the sort of desk space, the office space. I have my main desk there. I have two other desks here as well. And yeah, we have my desk. We also have like a trolley sort of thing here. Let me move my chair actually. I don't even know why my chair is there. But yeah, let me move the chair. Desk space, a sort of storage unit from IKEA that I have here. I have a sideboard here from Dwell. It's made from walnut and marble, so it's very nice. Feels very luxury. I really like the look of this. It adds some nice sort of wood to the office. I have that over there as additional storage when I need to put things away. There's sort of cables, boxes and other things in there. It's like organized to basically, this cabinet here is the one that I use the most because obviously it's closest to my desk, so I can access anything. I have other random stuff on here, cameras, a sort of 300 watt charger, my Apple TV, and this box here is actually for the Samsung Frame TV. Have some magazines, Dyson fan, and these prints on the wall. I get a lot of questions about these prints. These prints are actually photos that I've taken myself. So I've just simply printed my own photos. I've had a lot of requests to put them up for sale, and I will at some point. I will make a store where I can sell sort of my photos as prints and things. So if you guys are interested, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm sure you'll see it there. And yeah, over here, just some more desks. I have my 2 YouTube plaques here for both of my channels. And then if we turn around, we actually have the video space. So this is where all of the sort of photography gear, video gear is. This is where I usually shoot a lot of the videos that you see on this channel, just behind this desk here. I have trolleys to basically organize all of my camera gear and stuff. I have my mic, FX3 on a tripod there. Basically, this whole thing is on a trolley here, so I can move it around very easily. Have my key light here. And we have 2 windows as well here, just to let in a lot of natural light. They do let in a lot of natural light actually. So I have to close the blinds when I'm recording a video because obviously I don't want light from outside spoiling the light in here when I'm filming. But yeah, that is the studio space over here. I've split the studio up into 2 sections, and then out there is actually the warehouse. But yeah, I have my studio inside a warehouse. It's a really good setup. In here especially, I have sound panels on the roof, sort of sound absorbing panels, and it makes for some really good sound deadening here when I'm recording videos. I feel like I've spent so much time and effort getting this workspace to where it is now that it's quite a shame that I have to sort of let it go. However, I will be building an all new setup in Dubai, and I plan to actually make it quite different aesthetically. This is sort of all grey and black and sort of minimal. I might go for a more sort of warmer, woody tone when it comes to my workspace in Dubai. We'll see, I still haven't decided yet, but I definitely will have a different aesthetic compared to this desk. I'll of course leave links to everything down in the description below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.